Okay, 5:30 in the morning. Getting ready to hit this ice bath again. See what the temperature is. Looks like it's a nice, balmy 37.8 degrees. That's 5.5 degrees. 37.8. Got some ice floating around. I put in last night actually, because the water was we're getting up to 41 degrees. And I was going to put more in this morning, but it hadn't froze, so not able to do that. So move that temperature gauge out of the way. It's about 41 degrees outside and raining. So this exercise should be a little bit easier than yesterday, or not yesterday, Saturday. And now that I got in, it says the temperature, water temp is 34.9, so I guess I stirred up some of that colder water on the bottom. And let's get down in this. Whew, it's cold. I don't think this ever gets any easier. Okay. And down in. Oh yeah, it takes your breath away. Got ice floating all around my body now. Yeah, it's cold. All right. So the Bible says in Psalm 139, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That sounds like bragging, so I don't often repeat that. But it came to mind as I started looking into the benefits of these cold water immersions. And the complexity with how God has made our bodies. I mean, we're all different in one way or another, but there are similarities. One of the benefits of these cold water immersions is how it affects an area of the brain called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. Now, there's two of those in your brain, one on each hemisphere, left and right. And turns out when you do something that you don't really want to do, that it grows. And when you don't do something that you do want to do, it also grows. So, if you do something you don't want to do that's good to do, I should specify that. And when you don't do something that you do want to do that you should not do. So think of it like temptation to sin. On the other side, when you do something that you want to do but you shouldn't, it shrinks. And when you don't do something that you don't want to do but should, it also shrinks. So it's malleable. It changes. It's been described as the seat of willpower or morality, but it also turns out that folks who live into their 80s, 90s, even hundreds have a larger anterior mid-cingulate cortex than those who live shorter lifespans, die in their 50s, 60s, 70s. So it seems to be, potentially, the seat of even the will to live. Whew, I got some ice digging into my back. There we go. That was a little bit painful. So this cold water immersion thing, as much as I hate the cold, a friend of mine said, I've been doing it for a week. I still dread getting in. Sometimes I dread getting in at night. When I don't get in at night, I get in the morning, but sometimes even at night, the thought of it, getting in the next morning, creates some dread. I've been in this for 4 minutes, shivering starting to set in. Anyway, this anterior mid-cingulate cortex being the seat of, maybe say, morality. God also said, in the beginning when he created all things, and on the 6th day created man, he said, let us make man in our image. And I got to thinking about that. Jesus was a man, and we're created in his image, which means he also had a brain. It seems like a crazy thought, right? But he has a brain, which has this anterior mid-cingulate cortex, which was perfect, unlike ours. He was tempted in all points like we are, but without sin. And he always did that which pleased his Father, unlike us. But in that final day, when we finally see him, we shall be like him. And these imperfect bodies will become perfect. Will be made perfect. Will be actually cast off and replaced with that which is perfect. In the meantime, we are to be conformed into his image. It is God's will for us. So, in some kind of weird way, getting in these cold water immersions is an act of compliance to the will of God to transform us into the image of Christ. Ah, man, that's insane. Anyway, all right. Looks like I've been in here for 5 minutes. Not sure, I can't quite see the timer. So it's good to get out and dry off. 37.4 degrees. I warmed it up about 4 degrees, I guess. All right, tomorrow, maybe we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of staying in until you shiver. And there are some. Okay, 7 minutes. Apparently. Yeah, getting out was a little easier this time. Not quite as cold. I guess I won't be forming any ice on my arms. Still shivering. The benefit of that water being 37 degrees, my feet don't hurt like they do in 32 degree water. Makes it hard to walk for a little while anyway. Alright, so there's more benefits than this growth of the mid-cingulate cortex. and how it impacts the brain and chemical release of epinephrine and norepinephrine and dopamine, which cause this feeling of being able to conquer difficult things. It causes like a high. It's incredible. And anyway, we'll sign off till tomorrow. And I'll try to remember to talk about what shivering does for you. As you can see by the shaking, that's exactly what's happening. See if I can calm it down. A little bit. All right. Have a good day.